8 years ago, when I first started selling on Etsy, the thought of reaching 100 sales seemed unimaginable. But now, after accumulating over 60,000 sales across multiple Etsy shops, I've learned what works and what doesn't. But the journey wasn't easy. I've made so many mistakes along the way, and I wish I had a guide to steer me clear from these pitfalls. So that's why we're here today. I'll show you real-world examples and how we can drastically improve these shops to get more sales and traffic. So make sure to stick around because a lot of these tips will benefit and apply to your shop as well. So let's get into it. I'll be reviewing a couple different shops and pinpointing some areas for improvement, but make sure to stay to the last shop because that is the most important one. It's the number one mistake a lot of new sellers are making, so stay tuned for that. But let's get into it. Looking at this first shop from the top, you can see that it's missing a banner, and it's really important to incorporate that because it's the first impression people get when they are visiting your shop. And the second part you want to optimize in your shop is the shop title. And this is a short little slogan or paragraph to explain what your shop is about. And you want to utilize this because it also incorporates as SEO. So fill it out as much as you can. They're pretty much using half of the character space right now, so you can utilize it more, add some keywords as it can help with search. Now coming down here, the third point I want to point out is the mockups. And these are amazing mockups, don't get me wrong. You're presenting it in the right decor because of the Christmas theme that you're doing. But keep in mind of the area that's showcasing your product. Just in this picture alone, the amount of space that your product is taking up is basically 20% of the overall canvas. And this makes it hard for buyers to really see what your product is about. Like these ones here are a lot better. You can really see the design, the template, and you're still utilizing some theme, which is amazing. But some of these ones here, definitely you zoom in a bit. And something else I want to point out is if you have a bunch of different mockups that you're using for your shop, it can get to a point where it becomes not cohesive. And this is something that I found in one of my earlier shops was I kept trying to go for really eye-catching designs for every single one of my listings. They're all different themes, different color palettes, because I was trying to make it as impactful as possible when someone is searching on Etsy. But then when I realized after doing so, when someone looks into my shop, it just becomes very messy. Nothing really connects with each other. It's not cohesive branding. Whereas I see a lot of new sellers are making that mistake is, does your shop look like a search page or an actual shop page? And I go more in depth later on in this video about this, but just a quick reminder. Now coming down here, a couple of things you want to optimize is your about page and FAQ, and that kind of falls at the bottom of your shop page. And just a quick example, here's the second shop I'll be showing you, but this is what the about page will look like. You can add a video or an image, a quick little bio about you or your shop. And then if you come down, you'll see FAQ. Okay, so you definitely want to incorporate this because it's better for the buyers, for the buyer experience, but also you can add SEO in here, right? You can add some different keywords and it can all impact and help your shop get ranked higher. Let's move into this second shop. And if you're enjoying this so far, make sure to subscribe if you want to learn more about how to sell successfully on Etsy. And if you're interested on how you can submit your shop for reviews for these type of videos, I have a link down below and then you'll have a chance for me to review your shop just like I'm doing it for these ones here. Okay, so this second shop here, everything looks really good. They got a nice banner, nice image, logo, the shop title perfectly used. They added sections, right? They got nice products here. But the only thing I want to mention for this shop is how you're formatting your mockups. It's the number one most important thing to get those clicks, get those views from these search results, is how you're designing your main image. And as you can see from one of the listings, they're all designed in a square format, which is perfectly fine. And this is something that I tell my students to do as well. And it looks great on your shop, on your computer screen. But something to consider is when someone is searching for the mobile app, the Etsy mobile app, they don't see this square format. They see it in horizontal. And I'll add an image up here just to show you what this will look like on the mobile phone. But that's something you need to consider because a lot of buyers are shopping on the mobile app. And if it's cropping the top and bottom, you'll be losing a lot of space and you don't want to incorporate any important text at the top portion and the bottom portion of your main thumbnail. one of the students that joined our program, they had their shop set up this way in a square format and having text at the top and bottom. But after optimizing it based on the dimensions that we mentioned, they were able to double the amount of clicks that they got for the shop just by simply having the right dimensions for their main image. Because at the end of the day, you won't get any sales unless someone clicks on it. And in order for someone to click into your listings, you want to make sure that you have the most important elements visible on your main image. So make sure to check out what your shop looks like when you're searching it on the mobile app, because almost 70% of buyers are shopping on the mobile app. And one of the last things I want to point out are these Canva stamps. You want to make it more visible, because if you're standing further back and you're squinting your eyes, it's hard to tell what that says. And it's a very important point for people who want to buy Canva templates. And I'm just curious, are you someone that's using Canva to create your products, or using some other different softwares or tools? I'm always curious where our viewers are coming from, what type of products they're selling. So let me know in the comments, because I'm a huge fan of creating products from Canva. There's so many different ideas out there that we can sell on Etsy. So let me know in the comments below if you are creating within Canva or some other software. All right, now let's look at the third shop here. So everything looks pretty good. You got your logo here, even in the banner, which is fine. But as I coming down here, looking at your thumbnails, and again, I really think it's super important to master the craft of your branding and your mockups in order to get those clicks and those sales. Looking at this one, at the bottom it says e-product Ace. And when I first looked at it, I was like, okay, what does this even mean? Is that a product, or why is that on here? And I realized that's the name of the shop. Okay, and I don't think it's relevant to add it such a big area in your mockup, because you're just wasting space, especially for the main image. So I would make sure to remove that. For the main image, having the word Canva, having Microsoft Excel, Google Sheets, right? This is totally fine because people know what they are. But having your brand name in there that big is not necessarily, because if you don't have a brand that's well known, then you're better off not putting it to keep the main image more clean and simple. Now let's look at some SEO tips. Let's look at this title alone. If you're looking at this, this is more a description than a title. When we're talking about titles and how you want to implement it in your listings, you want to have a bunch of different keyword phrases. Phrases that people are searching on Etsy. People are typing up here what they're looking for. And that is what you want to put into your titles. Instead of a sentence form, like a descriptions, this can be put down here, okay, in your descriptions. But in your titles, make sure you're adding keyword phrases that people are searching for. And if you're wondering what keyword researching tool you should use to find relevant keywords, I use eRank. I've been using eRank since day one, so definitely check them out. You can find the demand, the supply, the competition rate, all these things on this platform. So you can check it out in the link in my description, as I believe it's one of the most important things when you are building up your shop, to know what keywords you want to incorporate into your shop. So check it out in the link below. All right, so now this is the last shop we'll be reviewing in this video. Same thing, the banners needs to be put into place. But the main thing I want to talk about is the selection of listings in this shop. And this is by far the biggest mistakes I see a lot of new sellers are making, is not having a strategic plan. So if you're someone thinking about starting a shop and you want to tap into different lesson plans, different affirmation cards, some Halloween themed templates, maybe some phone cases, resumes, wall art, right? I don't recommend doing that, because I know some people want to just test different things to see what sticks. But if you've done the proper amount of researching from the start, you wouldn't have to test it out as you go, because there's no point putting all this effort into building all these different types of products and just hoping that it works, right? I'd rather have a plan put in place at the beginning, having a more cohesive shop, so that your chances of succeeding will be a lot higher. So something to think about again, right? Does this look like a page where it's just a bunch of different shops put together, or it looks very cohesive? There's a good branding around it, where the buyer feels like they can trust your shop, right? And that is the number one thing that I want you to take away from this video, is think about what niche you're doing to be a specialist in a category than just being a generalist. But I do talk a lot more about this in my free masterclass, where I go over the 4 phases of what you need to do when you're starting out a shop, or even if you have a shop, a lot of mistakes that you can easily avoid, more than what I mentioned in this video. So if you want to check it out, I have that in the descriptions as well, a free masterclass you can check out. So there's a lot of value there, more than I can provide in this short video. But that is it for this one. Hopefully you gain some insights and think about what things you can incorporate, that you can optimize with your shop. And I really believe that adding these simple things can really get you that 100 sales and get you 1,000 sales, 10,000 sales, and so on and so forth. And you can continue scaling it, having these fundamentals in place. So if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.